will love Nevermore. Won't you, Tish?
Of course she will. It's the perfect school for her.
Why? Because it was the perfect school for you? I have no interest in following in your footsteps. You know, I don't think it's hard, or not hard. It's an interesting game to play because when you're a teenager, you know better. And in certain things, you know, when you say rude things or do things that might hurt somebody else's feelings, it's seen as incredibly disrespectful because you're supposed to have an understanding of social expectation and other, you know, you're kind of responsible for other people's feelings, which is, it kind of sucks, honestly. And I think the way to still kind of make her likable, but still not really care for other people's feelings is just not having an understanding of it. I don't think that she's ever, I mean, sometimes she intends to be cruel, but just for amusement. I don't think she means genuine harm by it, but I think that a lot of the times when she hurts people's feelings, or at least in this season, it's by complete lack of understanding of the way that people process their emotions. Even her own, I think it's very confusing for her to navigate. And I think that she kind of says things because she's being completely honest, and she doesn't see any reason why she should look after somebody else's well-being or feelings or whatever, because she doesn't understand how point A gets to point B. I think that she just sees the truth and nothing but the truth. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think that there was more obstacles than I anticipated going on to the character, especially because it's fun. You should be having a fun time. But I think that it's very easy for things to not feel authentic for her. And with a premise like this, when you're spending so much time with the lead character of a show, you know, it's she's in almost every scene. I think it's very easy to fall into normal person habits and experiences, especially when you're dealing with things like school drama and people being viciously murdered. I think that it's you're bound to have normal person reactions, and she does have a bit of that, but it was a matter of what triggers her. Why does it trigger her? Why is she vulnerable here? Why is she doing this? How weak or stressed out is she in this period of time, or how much does she just really not care at all about what's happening in front of her? So we did a lot of playing where every time we did a scene, we'd do a flat take, a mixed take, and then a take that had a bit more emotion, and then just kind of try to pick up, oh, the inflection sounds good here, she shouldn't make an expression here. You know, it was interesting. She's the coolest. She's one of my favorite people that I've worked with in terms of just so professional, such a generous actor. She really caters to the person that she's working with, but I appreciate the way that she makes every character that her own, and I appreciate the fact that she never once brought up Wednesday around me or her portrayal, and I kind of never did the same. It was something that we mutually ignored, which I think was a smart way to go about it, considering they're different people.
That excuse might have placated the sheriff, but you can't fool me. You had a psychic vision, didn't you? I realized you might be having them when we passed by the accident and you knew that poor farmer had broken his neck. Your mother started having visions around your age. They were notoriously unreliable and dangerous. Oh, that's such an interesting question and not one I've been asked before. It's, you know, they have their similarities and they have their differences. Obviously, Lucifer Morningstar has an inherent violence, and that's born out of a lifetime of disappointments and of dislocation, isolation, and an entire absence of empathy. Larissa Weems is an altogether more although she's an outcast, has a lot more humanity. And I believe she deeply cares about the school. She wants to be nurturing to these young outcasts. She's someone who attended the Nevermore Academy and understands its importance. She was also always in the shadow of Morticia Addams. So she was always second best, and she was always used to Morticia being the chairman of all the clubs and achieving the best grades, being the most popular, the most revered. So now is Larissa's chance to shine. And I think that she's found in that position of power that she has a complete love for the students. Simultaneously, she wants to be the best principal. She wants Nevermore to be the most powerful. She wants the school to be invincible. So there is a ruthlessness there. And she is a master strategist and diplomat. So she uses a lot of gentle means in order to mask her intentions. But also what I was very interested in with the character was her loneliness. That is what I think comes through. She's always rattling around in that huge office on her own. And I think that that's where the softness is born out of, her extreme loneliness. That's a very hard-hitting question you've asked me there. It's a very, very difficult question because human beings are inherently flawed. And I think through what's termed as civilization, we are supposed to develop. But David Bailey once said to me, the photographer, said this extraordinary thing to me, which was, people have been people for millions of years. And when the pandemic was first occurring, the thing that I comforted myself with was that the world has been through worse times than this. And I think what's brilliant about our information age is that we have more access to information than we've ever had before. However, I hope that as people, we are able to develop and continue developing our empathy and our generous emotional sense for each other, and are able to recognize what it is that unites us as human beings more than what divides us. I just loved working with Tim. I really did. And I wanted to work with him for my entire life. I really have. And I just could not believe that he wanted to work with me. It was extraordinary. He was just so collaborative. And, you know, I didn't expect that. I didn't think for a minute that why would this great artist be interested in my conception of the role or what I thought? But at every stage, I was asked, what did I think? And was I comfortable? And did I like it? And what did I want? And as an actor, that's a hugely liberating experience. It also gives you a lot of confidence when you are working together with someone as, you know, magnificent as Tim and someone as legendary as Colleen Atwood, and they work with you and they work with your strengths and they give you confidence, and it's so gracious and it's such an act of generosity. And it was also huge fun. And I was delighted to bring my ideas, and it honestly gave me so much confidence. I felt liberated and I felt truly able to try things out. And even though, you know, we're filming a series and there's not an awful lot of time, but I felt free with Tim, and I felt that I wouldn't be damned if I did something wrong. And he was only interested in it doing well, in the scene doing well, in everybody feeling their best. And that's an incredible thing when you feel that someone really has your best interests at heart. I think that it allows actors to be incredibly creative.
He filled me in on what's been going on. Monsters, murder, mayhem. What fun. I told him I had a job in Boston, but I'd be checking up on you.
What kind of job?
The kind that means I need somewhere to lay low for a couple days.
Well, what I tried to do was I tried to remember that Uncle Fester wants to have fun, right? That he kind of makes jokes. He's not like he doesn't want to be the sort of center of attention, but he just wants to be kind of like an odd, funny person. And I just wanted to continue that. And, he's got electricity in his hands, and he's just like just the right amount of kooky. So I just wanted to continue that. And then just to have the look that Uncle Fester has. That's sort of, there's some mischief. There's a little bit of mischief in his smile.
There's no secret. It's all about love. It's all about the passion that they have for each other. And, just being able to look into each other's eyes every day and lock in that they are in love.
I grew up watching it. The TV show, big part of my life.
Yeah, it's a huge part of my life. I mean, I used to run home from school just to watch it. And I just love those characters.
My character would like the band The Cramps. And the song would be Goo Goo Muck.
I just think it's simple for me. It's the Monster Mash. So for me, it's not to sound corny, but it's a dream come true. I mean, I've seen so many of his movies, and great movies, and really entertaining, and just to be able to step into the Tim Burton universe. I mean, I'm gold. I'm good.
Same.
Those are the Fangs, aka vampires. Some of them have literally been here for decades. That bunch of knuckleheads are furs, aka werewolves, like me. Full moons get pretty loud around here. That's when furs like wolf out. I suggest you pick up some noise-canceling headphones. I'm assuming scales are sirens.
Well, they actually constructed so many sets that were like to scale. So it really felt like you were actually in the school. I thought that was so incredible.
It's kind of like that moment when you watch like Lord of the Rings or Pirates of the Caribbean and you're like, I want to be there. Like that's what walking on set felt like. It felt like I was getting to have that moment of living in the fantasy of it all.
Do you guys know the name of the castle where we?
Can't Casino?
Yeah, that was, I feel like getting to go out there, like in the mountains and like actually see it from the outside that was so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, I definitely think the message from Nevermore is to embrace your differences and learn how to get along with people despite the fact that you might be different. So I think that's something that younger audiences especially can really take away.
And I think it'd also be really inspiring for them to see the outcasts who like, bump heads sometimes come together for the greater good. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yoko. I love her.
I'd want to be friends with you. You got all the gossip.
I know everything.
Yeah. And
And I have great fashion.
if I get on your great fashion, if I get on your wrong side, you're gonna put me on your vlog.
My
I would want to be friends with Ajax.
Yeah, I think I like Ajax as well. He's
Mhm.
a funny guy.